history and characteristics of the defendant. This is probably where you can gain the most traction in order to get the court to really consider and listen to who you are as an individual. We all come from different walks of life and different backgrounds. You may have been born to a family circumstance of where you never truly really stood a chance. You may have born in a situation to a family where you've had only a single parent, you grew up fairly poor, and the likelihood of you ending up in a situation where you may have ended up committing multiple crimes and led you onto a pathway of certain challenges and certain things that you may have wanted to do differently, the probability was very high, basically. And we want to be able to highlight that to the court in order to explain what had happened to your past, your background, how it developed, and ultimately how you found yourself here before the court and before the judge that's considering your sentence. Understanding the dynamics of that is super important. I think where a lot of lawyers go wrong and where they don't really focus enough on the individual characteristics happens to be with age and happens to be with an individual's background. It could be ethnic background or it could be socioeconomic background. There are many different circumstances. I have utilized many strategies within this space in order to be able to express the individual characteristics to a court that will get the court to make an honest evaluation and an appropriate one that could help advocate for a client that truly feels like they are not being heard. Oftentimes, this is very effective by using expert witnesses. It could be psychiatrists or psychologists that can come in order to break down the barriers that an individual may have had and background circumstances that individual may be going through that a court should be considering in order to highlight the fact that what happened with them in the past is not necessarily indicative of what may happen with them in the future. So this is a advocating part of talking about recidivism, and your characteristics and background can make a really huge difference for purposes of the court in considering a sentence. Within that space, we also have the support that you may have in the community. So when we talk about support, we talk about character letters, individuals that can come in and advocate on your behalf that know you best, such as family members, friends, neighbors, coworkers, your employers, people that you have spent the most amount of time around that can talk about who you really are as an individual versus a cause number. Because right now, the way that it sits and a judge is looking at your case, all they see is a cause number. They don't necessarily see a person before them. And we want to humanize you. And so that is a really important part of the second factor.